This week on The Traitors.
And always have been from the very beginning. A traitor.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to it. We're going to be talking about the new episode of The Traitors. That's Season 3, Episode 7. Let's get right into this. Okay, so the episode begins where we left off last week. The Traitors are in the turret. They are very divided right now. They just came out of the round table where Danielle and Carolyn went at it. Danielle voted for Rob, so it's just very uncomfortable for them. They can't really trust each other. And the thing is, they need to pick someone who they're going to kill tonight, but because they're so mad at each other, they're kind of having a hard time even trying to figure out who to kill, and it's very awkward. So Rob throws a name out there. He says maybe they could kill Derek. Danielle quickly says no because that's her friend. Carolyn says, well, what about Sam? What about Dylan? What about Ciara? But every time someone would suggest a name, somebody else would object to it, so they really couldn't agree on anything. We then look at the next day. It's time for breakfast. Ivar and Britney are the first ones there. She shades him. She says that Ivar's like a piece of furniture. He's just so like dry, but he's a good guy though. There is very much fewer people left, and the people are coming, everyone's arriving, and they're really only waiting on 3 people at that point: Dylan, Derek, and Boston Rob. So the last to arrive are Boston Rob and Dylan. So that means Derek was killed last night. I actually, for some reason, because they were so divided last night, I thought there was actually even a possibility that maybe they didn't even kill anybody at all. But they did. They killed Derek. They showed a little piece of part of the conversation that the traitors had last night, and Boston Rob pretty much said to them, that to the traitors, his fellow traitors, that if they give him Rob to be able to kill, that'll bring back the trust, which I definitely doubt. So finding out that Derek was the one that was killed, Danielle is in tears. She's acting like he actually got murdered. It's a bit much. Alan comes in and he says that there's going to be bloodshed coming and that they're going to need to partner up with somebody for today's mission, and that this decision could be life or death. So they then have conversations. Dylan really seems to trust Boston Rob because he immediately tells Rob everything that Derek told him the night before. Remember, just as a reminder, Derek had told Dylan last night that he was adamant that Rob was a traitor and that Britney was one as well. So Dylan is saying all of this to Rob, and Rob says to him, clearly, I'm being framed. Now, Tom Sandoval, who is really not that bright, he's actually starting to be very smart, compared to Dylan at least, because he's actually saying that it's pretty obvious that Rob is a traitor. So then they get ready for the mission. They're all dressed up. I thought their outfits looked super cool, really campy, and I don't know. I just liked it. They were all black and red, and they choose their partners. So they're going to be metaphorical couples. So there is going to be a couple versus another couple in this mission. So really, it's going to be 3 different competitions, I guess, if that makes sense, because it's couple versus couple, couple versus couple, couple versus couple. So that first competition is going to be Tom and Dylan as a couple versus Ivar and Sam as a couple. The next competition is going to be Rob and Ciara as a couple against Dolores and Chrishell. And then lastly, Carolyn and Gabby as a couple versus Danielle and Britney. So they get going, they go to the woods. It's like a weird wedding thing type of situation. $27,000 are available. The couples, this is what's going to happen. So they're going to need to hold each other's hands. And the couple that lasts the longest holding each other's hand wins. But obviously, there's a twist. So, for example, the first competition, which is Rob and Ciara versus Chrishell and Dolores, they go first. So they put they're holding hands in sort of a box, and then that's when some people start coming and they start to put stuff in the box, aka on top of their hands, like centipedes, millipedes. Chrishell, though, she didn't even wait for the bug to be put on the box. She instantly let go, like she didn't want it, not even to touch her. And Dolores was kind of pissed about this because, like, how are you gonna lose? Like, you quit already. So Rob and Ciara are technically already like automatically saved because they technically won against the couple that they're competing. But if they last the full 8 minutes, they are going to be able to actually earn the money. So we start to see the other couples because it's like it's all happening at once, sort of. They're showing it at the same time. And so they're adding more stuff. Spiders, scorpions. I actually think that holding somebody's hand, I would think it would make it a little bit easier. Then they take it up a notch by dumping worms and dirt onto the people, millions of maggots. It was really gross. I can't imagine having all that and like dumped upon me. There's like 2 minutes left, and then that's when they bring a snake and they put it on top of the people that are still left. I'm actually not that scared of snakes, to be honest with you. It's rodents where I draw my line. So, to make long story short, the people are able to hold each other. All of the couples are able to hold each other's hands, obviously with the exception of Chrishell and Dolores. And $22,500 are won. But technically, those other two competitions, everybody lasted, so there was no clear winner. So what they do to declare a winner is that they get that same box where they had their hands placed in, and they fill it up with dirt, bugs, maggots, everything, and there's a ring that's inside of there, and the couples have to try and find the ring against their competition. So Ivar and Sam actually end up beating Tom and Dylan, and then Danielle and Britney beat Gabby and Carolyn. So those who won are safe from being murdered, and those who didn't are there's a possibility that they could be murdered because they are the only available options. So on their way back, Rob is trying to figure out how is he going to save himself. So they're eating dinner and they're having conversations. Rob is saying that if he was a traitor, it would make no sense and that it would be so dumb of him to murder Derek. He says that clearly they're trying to frame him, and now he's throwing Britney's name out there. Rob eventually gets to Carolyn and he says that they need to take Britney out tonight. And she says, okay. Dolores was pretty convinced by Rob, though. Britney is very clearly noticing that some of the people are acting differently towards her, and that's because Rob is telling them that she's a traitor. Danielle, on the other hand, though, she's not really fond of this idea. So then it is time for the round table. So Dylan starts. He tells the whole table what Derek told him last night. He says, last night, Derek told me that he thought the two traitors were Boston, Rob, and Britney. The reason he thought it was Britney was because when I was voting yesterday, I was having a little bit of a hard time deciding, and Derek told me that he noticed that Britney looked at me, sort of telling me to vote him out. So that's when Britney goes to defend herself, and she says, first of all, that's not what happened. I wasn't forcing you to vote for someone. I was really telling you to just go with your gut, but I'm a faithful. Sam says that the evidence points to Rob because the last three murders are very clearly, like, it connects it to him. Sandoval then joins in and he brings up once again the initial suspicion of why it could be Boston Rob, which is that Bob the drag queen was taken out by Rob, and Rob probably knew this because he is a traitor as well. Ciara and Dolores joined to defend Boston Rob, though. So Rob defends himself. He says that what he thinks happened was that Wes and Derek found out that they were both faithful, so that what ended up happening was that they assumed that he was a traitor. And he says once again, why kill Derek? That would just raise suspicion on me. Sam, Dolores, Chrishell, and Britney are the only ones who knew that he had a shield. Clearly, there is only one person among these that is the most strategic, and that is you, Britney. So Britney, again, she's defending herself. It's not me, I'm a faithful. But then it is time to vote. So Tom votes for Boston Rob. Chrishell votes for Tom. I don't know why she's so obsessed with him, and why are you so... That was a dumbass vote. You just wasted it. Dolores also wasted her damn vote voting for Tom. And then Dylan wasted his vote voting on Gabby. But Britney votes for Rob. But then Ciara and Rob vote for Britney. But then wait, you guys. Carolyn actually ends up voting for Rob to be eliminated. And then that's when more names start to come his way. Sam, Ivar, Gabby, and lastly, Danielle also voted for Rob, putting the last nail in his coffin. So Rob goes in the circle of truth, and he says, "I have enjoyed spending time with y'all. It's been it's been an enjoyable game, but I've been from the very beginning, and I will always be a traitor." Wow, so Boston Rob is gone. The head of the snake is cut. Everybody was happy, especially Tom Sandoval, because he says people are finally going to start taking me seriously. Dylan is a little upset, though. He really, really had an alliance with Boston Rob. But here's the thing, though. 6 players are going to be murdered tonight, and all 6 of them are going to have to go to the church at midnight, where they will find out what their destiny will be, what their fate will be, face to face. That's right, the traitors will be making their murder face to face. So the clock strikes midnight. Danielle and Carolyn meet. They're happy that Rob is gone. They really wanted him out. And Danielle says to Carolyn, from this point forward, now I got you. I do think that Danielle's being truthful, but I don't think Carolyn believes it. I think that, like I said last time, when that trust is broken, it'll never go back to the way it was. So then those 6 players that are eligible for murder, they begin to make their way into this creepy church full of candles, and there's a wooden casket in the center of it. The players are wearing their amazing outfits that they wore for the mission, but here's the thing though, they're going individually. And once they get to the center of the church, they sort of plead their case. And then we start to see the traitors make their way. And then we see all of the players, again, individually, turn around. And that's where it ends. So next week, we will find out when they turned around who is the player that actually had the traitors in front of him. Meaning who was actually killed. So that'll be interesting. I really enjoyed this episode. It was really entertaining. The mission was so gross, but fun to watch at the same time. Listen, Boston Rob, he really had no other way of explaining himself. I mean, I think he should be lucky that he even made it past Wes's elimination, because the evidence was just so profound against him. But you know what? He played a good game. He was a ruthless traitor, and he did what he was supposed to do. But now he's gone. I wonder if they're going to get a new recruitment for the traitors, and I wonder how Carolyn and Danielle will go from here, and who will get killed next week. So I can't wait. Again, you guys, pretty good episode. Let me know what your thoughts were. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.